Have you noticed how noisy the world has become? Everyone's shouting, showing off, chasing likes like it's oxygen. But here's an uncomfortable truth: the more someone feels the need to prove they're strong, the less strong they really are. Real strength, the kind that builds empires and transforms lives, almost always works in silence. Quiet, strategic, invisible to most. While some burn out trying to shine too fast, others grow in the shadows, day by day, with patience, understanding, and a lot of self-awareness. We live in a time where appearances matter more than substance. Society pressures you to show quick results, post achievements, look smart. But what no one tells you is that rushing blinds you. That seeking validation from others is a trap. And that there's a kind of wisdom, a hidden intelligence, that only the truly wise recognize. The story you're about to hear isn't just about a boy and a coin. It's about how humility and long-term thinking beat even the shiniest gold. And here's the best part: you can apply this today. Yes, today. This story might flip your perspective upside down, because it goes against everything you've been taught about success. But if you're open enough to listen with your heart, you'll finally understand the real meaning of quiet success. So sit back, take a deep breath, and open your mind. Because maybe, just maybe, you're about to discover the true value that no one sees in you, yet. There was something curious about that royal court. When the king looked at the minister's son and asked, with a smug face, "What's more valuable, gold or silver?" the boy quickly answered, "Silver." The court burst into quiet laughter. The minister blushed, clearly embarrassed by what seemed like foolishness. But the boy didn't flinch. He held a calm expression, like someone who knew more than he let on. They pointed and whispered, blind to the hidden intelligence behind that answer. Funny how judgment is always based on appearances, isn't it? No one there seemed able to see beyond the surface. The court's perception was clouded by ego. How could someone so young challenge such obvious knowledge? But that's where life tests your self-awareness. Can you keep your head up when everyone's laughing? Can you choose silence over the desperate need for validation? The minister, an experienced and respected man, felt a mix of shame and doubt. But that seemingly trivial moment would soon plant a seed of understanding, one that would bloom with long-term thinking. In that room filled with titles and pride, no one imagined the boy was playing his own game. And here's a subtle lesson: sometimes the real value lies in what seems too simple. Gratitude for daily opportunities, even small ones, can lead to a consistent daily reward. Maybe the choice between gold and silver wasn't about metals at all. Maybe it was about strategy, patience, and humility. Many confuse silence with weakness, but knowing when to speak and when to stay quiet puts you miles ahead of those who shout to be heard. And it was in the echoes of the court's laughter that the boy's mystery began to unfold. When his father finally pulled him aside, trying to understand why he always picked silver, the boy calmly explained, "Father, if I ever choose gold, the king will stop playing the game. But by choosing silver, he keeps giving me a coin every day." The minister's heart sank. What looked like foolishness was actually wisdom in disguise. Instead of chasing applause for a single win, the boy chose consistency, a daily reward earned through long-term thinking. That's not being naive. That's being strategic. That's how life works for those who think long-term. Many people choose gold today, rushed decisions, shallow show-offs, chasing social media validation. But those who choose the silver of patience are building something real. A practical example. Invest a small, fixed amount every month into an index fund like the S&P 500. It might seem like choosing silver now, but over time, the returns are powerful. It's strategy, humility, and consistency that win, not flash. Deep down, the boy understood something that even most adults don't: being misunderstood can be a superpower. His quiet success came from sticking to his own plan, even when facing misjudgment. He didn't need to prove his true value to anyone. His self-awareness was enough. The quiet strategy he followed is a brilliant example of how understanding and patience can bring more than any gold ever could. And while many mocked him, he kept winning. Day after day. Coin after coin. Silence after silence. Time passed, and the minister, once ashamed, began seeing his son differently. He no longer cared about the king's laughter or the court's mockery. On the contrary, he now saw his son's quiet success as something rare, even sacred. The boy didn't need to prove anything. And that is one of the greatest signs of wisdom, knowing that the world chases validation, but the truly wise walk the opposite way. They choose silence when they could shout. They choose patience when the ego wants to act. This story teaches us that real strength isn't loud. It moves with strategy, watches with understanding, and responds with humility. How many times have you been underestimated for being too calm? Ever felt misunderstood because you don't like to show off? That's the key. The world celebrates the loud ones, but it's the quiet ones who truly deliver. Their hidden intelligence is revealed slowly, and by the time people notice, they've built something great and unshakable. Want to apply this in your life? Start by shifting your focus. Instead of showing what you know or proving your worth constantly, dive into silent projects. Study without announcing it. Practice gratitude daily, even quietly. A good start. Read The Richest Man in Babylon, not for its fame, but for its long-term thinking lessons. And whenever you feel the urge to show results too soon, remember, true value doesn't need a stage. Real merit grows in the dark, like a seed, until the day no one can ignore it anymore. Now tell me, how many times have you abandoned your own strategy just to seem smarter or more successful to others? How often have you chased validation when you should have stayed consistent? This story isn't just an old parable, it's a mirror. A call for you to stop shouting to the world and start building in silence. The world needs more people who understand the power of quiet success, of patience, of strategy carried out in the dark. Are you living like the boy who chose silver wisely, or like the court that laughed without understanding? Are you thinking long-term or chasing rewards that disappear like smoke? Be honest with yourself. Maybe you're being misunderstood right now, and that's not a weakness, it's an advantage. Because those who see beyond the surface reap fruits the impatient never will. If this story made sense to you, share it with someone else who needs this mindset shift. And of course, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and stick with us. Because here, we don't just talk about success, we talk about applied wisdom, real life, and how to build something no one will ever be able to erase. And this, my friend, is just the beginning.